What has been defined up to here? The various incarnations. 22 incarnations have been defined. And where are these incarnations coming from? What are these incarnations? They are all expansions from Mahavishnu. Ete, they are either cha. Cha also means those who have been defined here, and cha also means that which has not been defined here. As we discussed, not every incarnation can be defined. There are how many incarnations? What was the example given? What analogy was given about the incarnations? Anyone remembers? Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, the example was given like the waves coming in the ocean.
True, but in the verse, what was given? That is elsewhere. That is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives to Srila Sanatan Goswami. But here, what was the given example? In previous verse, I think it was in 1.26. Yeah, 1.26. What was the example given? Yes, Devadatta?
Prabhuji, rivulets.
Yes, very good. Like the rivulets or the streams which come out from the flowing river. There is no count to it. So similarly, expansions are innumerable. So ete means what have been defined or described here, and cha which has not been described here, because the expansions are unlimited. So ete, cha, amsha and kala we have defined. Amsha means the plenary expansions, and kala means the expansions of the expansions. So Acharya says, what are amshas? Like the Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, Narsimha avatar. They are the amsha. And what are the kalas? And some examples of kala, we spoke about it, but I'm just again reviewing it, revising it. What are the examples of kala avatars? Give examples. Yes, Sonika?
Prabhuji, you mentioned that all the avatars like Lord Parshuram, Lord Kalki, Lord Buddha, all are Amsha only. Sorry, not all are Kalas only.
Kala means those who are expansions of expansion, basically those who have been empowered. Like you said, some of the examples are correct. As a Parshuram, he is a Jeev Tattva, he has been empowered. Or Kumaras, or Narada. So these are all, they are defined, the Acharya say, as the Kala. Ete cha amsha kala puṁsaḥ. What is puṁsaḥ here? Although I explained it, but still I want to know how much clarity has come. What is puṁsaḥ here? Puṁsaḥ means for people also, but it is not meaning here puṁsaḥ meaning people. What is puṁsaḥ meaning here in this verse? Very important to understand the word puṁsaḥ. Why only Sonika is responding, others are not? Dayashil Prabhu, what does puṁsaḥ mean here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord.
Which form of Supreme Lord? That is this verse, that is why we are spending so much of time to understand. There are many, many Lords and there are many, many forms. Which form is puṁsaḥ? Yes, Priyanka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the
Hare Krishna.
Purusha incarnation.
Yes, very good. Purusha incarnations. Basically, it is addressing to Mahavishnu. Because everyone in this world or the Vedic way, they consider Mahavishnu be the supremost. So, ete cha amsha kala puṁsaḥ. They are all appearing. So, please try to understand that two ways they appear. One, the avatara means that who comes directly from the spiritual world. Avatar. That means he descends down. And what is the other way is that he expands from the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Mahavishnu. But actually it is from Mahavishnu to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and practically it is coming from Shirodakshaya Vishnu, who is Paramatma. So Krishna is not amongst those who is expanding from Mahavishnu. So that is why it is being said that ete cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ. So all these who have been listed so far here, they are all expansions coming from Mahavishnu. Is it clear? Very important. This is the most important verse. It is called the Emperor verse. Or technically it is called the Paribhāṣa Sutra. This one verse is the verse which establishes the entire Bhagavatam. The purpose of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is to support this verse. All other verses, 17,999 verses are spoken to just support this verse. Srila Jiva Goswami says that Lord Sri Krishna is repeatedly described in 18,000 verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The verse of the Bhagavatam may be compared, the verses of the Bhagavatam may be compared to the army, and this verse kṛṣṇas to bhagavān svayam may be considered the commander, emperor of that army. So devotees called this verse as the emperor verse, because people do not understand what is Paribhāṣa Sutra. So kṛṣṇas to bhagavān svayam. This is the point. This is the point what Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is establishing. That kṛṣṇas to bhagavān svayam. And lot of commentary has been given by many acharyas. I will not go into the detail. That is very elaborate. How Krishna is to bhagavān svayam. But I will share with you one very small, crisp and clear write-up of Srila Prabhupada, which is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which speaks about the superiority of this verse over all other verses. One moment. What it means that kṛṣṇas to bhagavān svayam. This is the conversation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the self-same Krishna. And he is having conversation with Srila Rupa Goswami. This is in Madhya Leela, chapter 19. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Sri Rupa Goswami. So the purport says Lord Krishna has many forms as stated in the Brahma Samhita. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Raghupati Upadhyaya. Raghupati Upadhyaya is a very learned scholar and also a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Mahaprabhu was having conversation with Vallabhacharya and Srila Rupa Goswami, so he happened to come there. And Mahaprabhu inquires from him and he is replying. Mahaprabhu is wanting to glorify Raghupati Upadhyaya. So he is giving very precise answers from the conclusion of the literatures. So he is saying, the Mahaprabhu asked, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Raghupati Upadhyaya which form was the best of Lord Krishna's millions of forms. And he immediately replied that the supreme form was the Shyam-Sundar form. In that form, Krishna stands curved in three places and holds his flute. The Shyam-Sundar form is also described in the Brahma Samhita, a very famous verse. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena Shanta Shadevar Hideshu Vilokayanti Yamasham Sundaram Achinte Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotees whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyam Sundar, situated within the heart of the devotees. Now comes the point. Please hear very attentively. Those who are filled with aesthetic love for Krishna always see the form of Shyam Sundar within their hearts. That is Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadev Hrideshu Vilokyanti. So far, clear. Raghupati Upadhyay confirms that the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has many incarnations. Ete cha cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ. And he names also Narayana. Please understand, this Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has many incarnations, Narayan, Narsimha, Vara, and others. But Krishna is distinguished as the supermost. According to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.3.28, the verse that we are discussing, kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So this is the verse which establishes that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Many acharyas comment that when you study grammar, let me complete first here. Krishna means Shyam Sundar, who plays his flute in Vrindavan. Of all the forms, this form is the best of all. So this is Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Another way of understanding is this phrase of Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. So what is coming first? What is the verse composition? It says Krishna. Krishna comes first, and Bhagavan comes second, and Swayam comes to emphasize that who is the original Bhagavan is Krishna. So what is more important here? What is subject and what is predicate? What is the rule of grammar? Some of you who have studied grammar, basic grammar. The subject comes first and the predicate comes later. What is it called in Hindi? I don't know. Anyone who has studied Hindi grammar, but the acharyas are quoting the English version only, which I have studied. So here it is meaning that the word Bhagavan becomes important because Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Example is given like Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. So who is more important? The person Narendra Modi is more important. That he is the one who is also the Prime Minister. But if you see the English news anchors, have you seen any? Have you ever heard BBC News? If you will hear the BBC News now, they will call the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They will never speak Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. But here, Srila Vyasadeva is giving importance. What he is saying? Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. So what is more important? The most important aspect is the Supreme Lord. So I'll read the commentary. That thus Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān mean that Krishna, the subject, fulfills completely the qualities inherent in Bhagavan. We all know what is Bhagavan. Those who possess those 6 qualities. What are the 6 qualities? What is the verse? What is the verse which Parashar Muni defines as Bhagavan? What is the definition of that verse? Don't you know? The verse so many times we have repeated. Yes, Pranav?
ऐश्वर्य समग्रस्य वीरस्य यशस्रिय दान वैराग्यश्चैव सन्नमिति भगवान्.
Very good. Yeah. So all these 6 qualities or opulences in completeness. So it does not mean that Krishna is another form of Bhagavan. Does it mean that Krishna alone is Bhagavan? Why? What is the emphasis? Kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. That he alone is the original personality of Godhead. So this is made clear by the word svayam. This means that Krishna is superior to the Purusha avatar called Bhagavān and even to Mahavishnu and Narayana. So then many verses are quoted from many scriptures. So, but one can question that how do you establish Krishna is the complete form of God on the basis of this one statement, that kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. There are countless statements which refute such as the following. So there are many arguments given. So in all it is said, so now the Acharya says that paribhasha hi eka deshastha sakalam shastram abhiprakashyanti yatha veshma pradeepaha. That this paribhasha statement situated in one place lights up the whole scripture just as the lamp lights up the whole house. So this one verse gives the illumination to all other verses in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is the importance of this verse. This is what the Siddhanta is. This sutra, that kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam, this is a sutra. It is explained in just one line. So this sutra appears once in the work and is not continually repeated. Though there are millions of statements in the scriptures, this sutra controls them all like the king. The statements which contradict the sutra must be explained so that they agree with the sutra. So if there is any difference of any disagreement anywhere in any shastra, what is to be done? If someone in the kingdom disagrees with the king, what is to be done? What is the normal course of practice? Are you understanding or not? This is a little more deeper, taking it forward. So please apply your heart. If somebody is there in the kingdom and if he disagrees with the king, what is the normal course of action? Well, he has to be made to agree to the version of the king. So similarly, it is just said. Thus, the statements which contradict the sutras must be explained so that they agree with the sutra. That is because these contrary statements are weak, since they belong to secondary subjects in the work. And because the sutra statement is strong, being supported by Shruti, thus these statements should be harmonized with the sutra by giving them another meaning according to the rule Shruti Ling Vakya Prakarana Sthana Samya Akhyana Samvaye Pradur Balyam. So these are very, deeper depths to which the acharyas dive. I have the commentaries. I have all the commentaries of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Somehow, fortunately, one of the greatest gift, one of my brahmachari friend gave me many years back. It was there lying with me for so many years, but I did not open them. I never opened them. Some gifts are there, some translation. I have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam with me. It was gifted to me by His Holiness Keshav Bharati Maharaj himself. Keshav Bharati Maharaj is the editor of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is given by Gopi Pranadhan Prabhu. It was given to me in 2007. I have so far not opened it because my teacher told me this is post-dated check. This is post-dated check. Once you have studied Srila Prabhupada's commentary very thoroughly, then only you open them. Not now. So I don't know whether in this life it will open or not, but it is there with me, preserved. So there are too much depth, but the most important thing is to understand this one line. What is that line? kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. So this verse is the emperor verse. So this verse establishes very clearly and very, considerably that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone else. This is what the sutra which Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj also gives in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anyone remembers that verse? Yes, there, Shil Prabhu. बोलिए.
प्रभु जी, अकेले कृष्ण ईश्वर, बाकी सब भृत्य.
Yes. Ekala Ishvara Krishna or sab bhritya. So what is the authority? The authority is this verse. Ete cāṁśa-kalāḥ kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. That Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since there are many different avatars, such as Matsya and Kurma, and Krishna himself has two-armed and four-armed forms, and as well displays ages such as Komar and Keshor, they are all said to be eternal, does not mean that there are many gods. No. The 10th canto says, Bahu Murti Ek Murtikam. He is one God manifested as many. That is one beautiful verse. I'll show that verse. We are not in hurry, but we have one worry. What is the worry? That the Siddhanta, the Sutra, should become clear, convincing. If there is clarity and there is conviction, what is the natural outcome of clarity and conviction? There is appreciation and there is possibility of application. So application of Shastra will only come when there is clarity and conviction. So I'll take that verse. This is 1047. This is by Srila Sridhar Swami. He is the greatest authority of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, as it was established by Lord Chaitanya himself. Annecha, okay, 1 minute. Annecha samskrita atmano vidhina abhihitena te yajanti tvam mayastvam vai bahumurti ek murtikam. The important line is bahumurti ek murtikam. And yet others, those whose intelligence is pure, follow the injunctions of Vaishnava scriptures promulgated by you. Absorbing their minds and thought of you, they worship as the one Supreme Lord manifesting in multiple forms. The word Samskrita Atmana, those whose intelligence is pure, is significant here. It implies that the worshippers mentioned before have not completely purified their intelligence of material contamination and thus worship the Lord indirectly. Those who are purified, however, directly worship the Lord, either as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Lord Krishna, or as one of his various plenary forms, such as Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, or Aniruddha, as indicated here. So the most important thing to understand is that Bahu Murti Ek Murtikam. That although he expands in various multiple forms, the source of it, the fountainhead of all of them, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Lord Shri Krishna. The jivas at different times showed different temporary forms with less or more powers. But the one Supreme Lord who pervades everything by his inconceivable energy can simultaneously have infinite eternal forms which are not different from him. The jivas show infinite variety simply because they are infinite jivas. The Lord shows infinite variety of form by being one person. Thus, when the jiva sees the Lord, he perceives the Lord as if there are many lords like jiva. So this is the explanation given by Srila Sridhar Swami. So now I think that sufficiently it should be clear what it means that kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. That as in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that Vasudevam Sarvam Iti. That Krishna is the source. Krishna is the seed. Or Krishna is the foundation for all. And it gives more clearer meaning to the verse which is there in Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. To explain these verses, what we have to understand? We have to understand kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Then we can get a clarity of how Krishna is Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. And Krishna says, Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Everything which emanates, everything which exists, emanates from me. Either in the spiritual world or in the material world. So Krishna is that seed. Krishna is the source, the foundation. Okay. So this is kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. And why he appears, why all these incarnations appears, we have discussed so many times that indrāri-vyākulaṁ loke. That whenever and wherever there is the disturbance created by the atheists, the demoniac, then to bring happiness in this world, the Supreme Lord, mṛḍayanti yuge. He appears or he manifests or he exhibits in different ages, in different forms, for different functions. Hare Krishna. Any question or any contribution on this verse? Bolo. Yes, Sonika.
Prabhuji, earlier you mentioned that the rivulet of river. What is rivulet mean, Prabhuji?
रिवुलेट का मतलब है एक छोटी सी शाखा, शाखा प्रशाखा, जैसे एक पेड़ है ना, वृक्ष है, यथा तरोन्मूलम भुजयन्ति स्कंदोपशाखा. So when the trunk of the tree is there, from the trunk of the tree there are so many branches, and from the branches there are so many sub branches, and there are so many twigs. So similarly, when the rivers are flowing, from the rivers till the time the river flows, from the glacier till the ocean, there are so many streams or branches which are drawn from that river. They are rivulets.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. I wanted more philosophical question. If we have questions, then we can go even more deeper into the understanding. Otherwise, again, still it will remain morally theoretical. How kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Acharyas have given great details of how kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. You read that purport again now. It will give more conviction. It will give more clarity. Prabhupada has spoken more on indrāri-vyākulaṁ loke. So Prabhupada is explaining all the avatars and how they killed the demons and the disturbances were there. So that part is more addressed by Srila Prabhupada in the purport. I don't see. You have to put your heart in this. This is one verse. So that is why I was not satisfied yesterday. Yesterday I was not in the proper frame of, what would I say, psychophysical health. I was completely exhausted. So today I took a break. I came from the office early, not to repeat what happened yesterday or day before. It was happening for many, many days. I took a break to be able to break off from the office work. Hare Krishna. Okay, then we proceed to the next verse. Please write, Sonika, at least you write on this verse. It may look very simple, it is not so simple. And our mind is the most complicated machine. There is no machine which can be compared to the complication of our mind. Now it may seem that everything is clear, but if you are asked to speak and explain, you will be completely dumbfolded. So if you write, Krishna will allow you to break through the complexity of the mechanism of the mind and have clarity. And if you don't write, it will not come into the heart. It will remain where it is in the book. It is your choice. Yes, Ganesh?
Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhuji. Yesterday class, when we are starting, Prabhuji, that time you told that the kala expansion of expansion.
Yeah.
So like the Purusha that was Mahavishnu, everybody coming from the
Shirodakshaya
primary that primary expansion approach. Like
Prabhu, I'll tell you one thing. We will never be able to logically understand this sequence of Lord coming. I told you that disclaimer 2 days back also. Many times I have said. Even if you try to capture how the expansion comes, that it is first Krishna and then it is Balaram. It is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Anuruddha. And then from Sankarshan there is Mahavishnu, and from Narayan, and from Narayan there is another quadruple. Cannot catch, not possible. Just understand very simple thing. The amsha means which is the expansion of the plenary portion. See what Prabhupada is given in the translation. What is the amsha?
Prabhuji, word to word meaning plenary portion.
Plenary portion, simple. What is plenary portion? What is the understanding of plenary portion?
Primary creation, Prabhuji. In the
Primary creation? You don't. This is
no. Primary expansion process.
Yeah, this is expansion. So where is the expansion coming from?
From Balram, Prabhuji.
From Mahavishnu. Simple. That is very long chain. So the plenary portions are coming from Mahavishnu. Okay. Mahavishnu is also expanding. Now, Mahavishnu's expansion is in the form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is expanding in the form of Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And then the avatars, these incarnations are coming from Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Prabhupada writes in many of the purports. If you will read attentively, you will see. But many times, technically, it is also called that they are coming from Mahavishnu, although they are coming precisely from Shirodakshaya Vishnu, but Shirodakshaya Vishnu is also coming from Mahavishnu. So it is mentioned in many purports. So don't get bewildered. Sometimes you will see Prabhupada is writing in the purport that they are coming from Mahavishnu, and sometimes he is writing that they are coming from Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Then again, they will come, our mind will, the most complicated machine will say, what is this? Prabhupada is not clear. So, we have to apply the principle. What is the principle? Principle is that what is the emperor verse? The emperor verse is here is Purushaha. Ete cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ. And puṁsaḥ here means Purusha. And Purusha represents Mahavishnu. And Shirodakshaya Vishnu is also coming from where? From Mahavishnu. So they are all coming from where? They are all coming from Mahavishnu, which is right. Okay. So this is amsha. I am defining amsha. Okay. In my limited capacity. Still, it might not be clear. Okay. This is amsha. And what is kala?
The expansion of expansion.
The expansion of expansion. So now, logically think. What is the expansion of an expansion?
Like Lord Brahma and other
Very good.
creation.
Yes, Lord Brahma, Jivas. Swansha and Vibhinamsha. I explained that the other day also. And Madan Sarup Prabhu asked that question, what is that differentiated? What is the differentiated is the Vibhinamsha. So what are the Vibhinamsha? The Jiva Tattva. What is the Swamsha? Are the Vishnu Tattva. Both are coming from Mahavishnu. The Jivas are also coming from Mahavishnu. The Avtaras are also coming from Mahavishnu. But there is a difference. There is a difference in Tattva. One is the Jiva Tattva and the other is the Vishnu Tattva. Now is it becoming clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear, Prabhuji.
But not every Jiva is same. Here which Jiva is being talked about, which have been empowered, Avesha. And we gave the example, you gave the example, Brahmaji, Naradji, Kumaras, Parshuram, Prithu. So these are the empowered personalities. So they are called the Satya Avesha Avatar. So ete cha amsha kala puṁsaḥ. Now it is making sense. Where are they coming from? Ete cha amsha kala puṁsaḥ. They are coming from Purusha avatars, from Mahavishnu. If you have properly read, when the dissolution takes place, when the pralaya takes place, where does everyone return?
Pradhan, Prabhuji. All jivas will be.
What nonsense. Jiva does not enter into the pradhan. Your philosophical understanding is very poor. You don't know what is the difference between pradhan and how the jiva can enter into the pradhan. The spirit can enter into the matter. Yes, there, Shri Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, abdomen of Mahavishnu.
Yes. Prabhupada says it is compact in Mahavishnu. How can the spirit soul be entering pradhan, which is unmanifest? You have to be very attentive. This is called tattva vibhrama. Vibhrama means illusion and the tattva. So how which is Chetan can enter into Jada? So they are all in compact with Mahavishnu. And when Mahavishnu glances on Pradhan, it gets agitated and it converts into Mahatattva. And when there is that agitation in the Mahatattva, with the glance, all the jivas are injected. And the creation begins. Okay, Ganesh, don't get disheartened, but very important to get the tattva right. And this is where it makes the difference. That who is getting the tattva right? It requires a lot of kripa. And for kripa, what does kripa means? You have to kar and pa. This tattva vibram is not easy to be, clear. So everything is coming from Mahavishnu. The source of the material creation, the purpose of Mahavishnu is material creation. So from Mahavishnu, all the jivas remain in Mahavishnu. That is why it is said, it is just by his inhaling and exhaling. Everything enters into him and everything comes from him. When he exhales, everything comes out, and when he inhales, everything gets in. So amsha and kala is all based on from ete cha amsha kala puṁsaḥ, and that puṁsaḥ is Mahavishnu. But leave apart all this, whatever is there, kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. So unless and until we have understood what is ete cha amsha kala puṁsaḥ, how can we understand kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam? Madhusudana Prabhu, your hand is up. You want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. I just wanted to ask that Vishnu Tattva, like, begins from Mahavishnu, then um, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, again next expansion, Shirodakshay Vishnu, and then Vishnu Tattva can further be expanded.
No,
So,
no, no, no. It is not. 1 minute. 1 minute. There is a little bit of ambiguity in this. Vishnu Tattva does not mean Purusha avatar only. Try to understand.
okay,
These are Purusha avatars. These are Purusha avatars, and the purpose of Purusha avatar is for material creation and maintenance.
creation. Okay.
That does
So they
not
are
mean
not
that
in that sense.
Vishnu Tattva does not mean only Purusha avatar.
Okay.
This is
So,
only Purusha avatar.
um,
So, 1 minute, 1 minute. That is what I am explaining. That is what I am explaining. This is what the difficulty is. In most of us, those who are in this way of ritualistic coming up, we feel everything is only limited to Vishnu. But Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu's purpose is only for his material creation. But the Lord has that is why I showed that verse. That there are many, many forms. They're not limited to just 3 Purusha avatars. There are millions of forms. But all the forms and are coming from one source. And that source is kṛṣṇas to bhagavān svayam. This is the Paribhasha Sutra. Na? This is what is being established. Where this has been very formidably established in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That is why the Acharyas called it the emperor verse. kṛṣṇas to bhagavān svayam. Yes, Ganesh Prabhu. Now you ask the question. Now, cāṁśa and kalāḥ, is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now, what is your question?
Prabhuji, yesterday's class, I have written that expansion of expansion. I have written example Vishnu Tattva, Vishnu, all Vishnus written. That's why I got confused. So that's why I asked the question.
Now it is clear now?
Now it is clear.
Yeah. But again, don't interpret that how kala can be, then we will be understanding that kala means only Jiva Tattva. No. Many times, there is no one qualified to take the post of Indra. Even Lord Krishna takes the post. Many times, no one is qualified to take the post of Brahma. Krishna takes the post. Then with our Chavani, one devotee says with our Chavani, we will try to measure how Brahma can be Vishnu Tattva, how Indra can be Vishnu. The Supreme Lord takes the position for the administrative and the universal affair. So this way, what you are trying, we will never be able to know. What we have to do, we have to first accept, apply, and then Krishna will give the understanding. Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenama mupiyanti te. This spiritual intelligence is with the hand of Krishna and his representative. Otherwise, it will not be a descending process. No, it will become an ascending process. That by your own intelligence and by your own logic and by your own rationale, you can know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is never possible. It will give you into more confusion, into more controversy. Brahmaji himself could not conclude. 3 times he tried. So by our contaminated and corrupt intelligence, can we catch Krishna? This speaks of foolishness. But still, we have to make an effort to accept what the acharyas are speaking. That is first class intelligence. How will you define? Brahma's position is taken by Krishna and Indra's position is taken by Krishna. Then your cāṁśa and kalāḥ reasoning will fail. Got it? So don't get disheartened. The most important thing is to accept and appreciate that kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. That is why we are spending so much of time. With you also, for me also, many things are becoming clearer. And one more understanding is coming. I will have to confirm it. That all these incarnations are coming why? From the ete cāṁśa-kalāḥ puṁsaḥ indrāri-vyākulaṁ loke mṛḍayanti yuge. But Krishna is not coming for that purpose. Krishna's purpose is not indrāri-vyākulaṁ loke mṛḍayanti yuge. What is Krishna's purpose of coming? Krishna's purpose of coming is paritranaya sadhana. He wants to give pleasure to his devotees. It will be explained in the 10th canto. It will become more prominent there. Okay, it is a lot of time. Yeah, I started late. But see, let us do one thing. That is on my part that I am lacking. We should try to begin at 8 and stop and conclude at 9. It is because of me it is getting late. And now everyone has, what should I say? They have adjusted. Everyone knows that the class will start at 8:30. People don't join before that. From tomorrow, let us change it. If we are scheduling the class from 8, let us try to begin at 8 and finish before 9. So that everyone can sleep in time and not succumb to the winter. Winter is very severe this year, but let us try to keep our schedule intact. I hope everyone is waking up in Brahma Muhurat. Otherwise, Krishna says that Matra sparshas tu kaunteya shito ushno sukha dukkha. The first thing is to be able to tolerate the heat and cold. If one has learned to tolerate heat and cold, then he will not be affected in sukha and dukkha. Otherwise, he will be swayed. Hare Krishna. So it makes sense now, Ganesh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Here, Bhagavatam is to be heard and relished. Nigam kalpatarur galitam phalam sukh mukhad amrit dravya samritam pibatam bhagavatam rasam malya muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavaka. What we have to appreciate is kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Okay, and that kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam will be explained in the 10th canto. So the 9 cantos are meant. So the Paribhasha Sutra is the beginning. And in the beginning only is establishing, and in the end also it will conclude in the same. All the verses, all the entire 17,999 verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is for the purpose in support of this one verse. This one line, kṛṣṇas tu bhagavān svayam. Hare Krishna. Anyone else has, if somebody else has any, burning doubt, so please ask. Don't subdue it. That is clear now. I don't see a response coming, so I'll end here. It is getting late. So from tomorrow, we will go to the next verse. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. And please end your Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita distribution now. We are now on 9th is over, 10th is there. By 15th, please try to conclude. Yeah? So then we take up the Jaipur Yatra. After 15th, we think about Jaipur Yatra. On 16th and 17th, that is the date we have decided. That is Saturday and Sunday on February, not in January, in February. Some of the devotees had a desire to go to Jaipur since long. Since long they have been requesting me and I have been postponing them. But I don't want to postpone any further. And this year, 16th and 17th, we intend. From Delhi, we will go from Radha Parsarthi temple. First, we will go to Karauli and take darshan of Shri Radha Madan Mohanji. And the same day, we will reach Jaipur. One night only. One night, we will stay in Jaipur. Next day morning, we will take Mangal Aarti of the deities in Jaipur, Krishna Katha, Prasad, And by 2 o'clock, we will start, 2:30, we will start from there and reach here in the evening. So it will be between Saturday and Sunday. It will be a small group. Those who are interested to come may speak to our coordinator, Ravindra Madhusudan Prabhu. He is there. He has joined us from Bhubaneswar. And Priyanka, you are also in Bhubaneswar? Or you are in Cuttack?
Yes, Prabhuji, in Bhubaneswar.
Okay. Thank you. So you will return tomorrow?
Yes, Prabhuji, tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning you begin, huh?
Morning, Prabhuji, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi.